Hello friends, welcome to the session of Quality of India. Myself Aryan Vishwakarma, and in this session we are going to explore GembaWalk process. So when we talk about lean manufacturing, in lean manufacturing, Gemba is a very important term, and Gemba is a term which is very commonly used in Japan. Okay, this means the real place. So what exactly is real place? So when we talk about a manufacturing industry, in manufacturing industry the real place is where the manufacturing is happening, that is the shop floor. And when we talk about service sector, it could be the service desk where the documentation activities are happening. It could be different for different kind of industries, but primarily talking about the manufacturing industries, the shop floor area where the machining, casting, forging, assembly, those kind of activities are happening, that is called the Gemba or the real place, because there the value addition is happening and there the problems are also occurring, and the improvements should also happen over there. So when you talk about GembaWalk process, it is primarily intended for senior management and middle management. In lot many organizations it is being seen that the top management, they rarely visit to the shop floor. So GembaWalk process is primarily meant for senior management people, so that they can visit to shop floor, they can observe and they can make improvement. So Fujio Cho, he says that the top management, the senior management must spend time on the front line. So they go and see. So he is asking them to visit to the shop floor and then ask why. Why analysis we know. So why technique they should be adopting, asking why this is happening, why that is happening, so that we can ask question whether people really understand whatever they are doing is really beneficial, and they can identify opportunity for improvement. This is in a broader sense, but there are detailed process, 8-step process for GembaWalk. We are going to explore that one also very shortly. Okay. So second is ask why, and then third is also important for showing respect. So top management should also interact with shop floor guys. There should be good bonding between top management and the frontliners. And in lot many organizations there is lack of bonding between top management and the frontliners. So lack of bonding means lack of trust. So trust should be also there, and this also helps this GembaWalk process, building trust between the management and the frontliners. Okay. So when we talk about GembaWalk, working the Gemba is a process of developing your people. So this is in a way helping people to develop, because while the top management visiting the shop floor, they also observe and they provide lots of input to the team so that they can make improvement. It's a structured approach, a very structured approach, systematic approach, where the leader go to the shop floor, they observe, they engage with employees, and they obviously identify opportunity for improvement. That is what the intent. So there are basically 8-step approach. This is the 8-step approach for GembaWalk. We are going to explore all these 8 steps in detail in a step-by-step manner. So let's explore them. The first step, identify the purpose of GembaWalk. So since this is meant for the top management or middle management who are not very frequent to the shop floor, so when a top manager or senior manager wants to visit the shop floor, the objective or the purpose of their visit must be clear to them. Okay, they must be clear in their mind why they want to visit to the shop floor. What is the purpose? Purpose could be different in different occasion. For an example, in one occasion the person wants to, or the chairman, say for an example the senior management is chairman or CEO, he wants to see whether the safety norms are properly followed or not, right? Or he want to check the some compliances. So different objective at different times could be there. Or he wants to observe bottleneck in some packaging area. So that could be a reason. Okay. So different objective could be there in different occasions. So setting clear objective is the first step of GembaWalk. Then the second step, what is the second step? Ensure that the person visiting the shop floor understands the process. Okay. So the CEO wants to visit to the shop floor and he wants to see an assembly line. So whether he understands the assembly process, he understands the welding process, he wants to see the compliance in some area. So whether he actually knows what are the compliance needed. How can he come to know? There are ways. So he can review the process flow, he can study standard operating procedure, he can check system diagram before going, okay. Before visiting the shop floor, he must clear his concept, he must understand the background, he must understand the process, okay, so that whenever he visits the shop floor, he can ask relevant questions, he can relate to them also, okay. It should not happen that he just for the sake of visiting, he is visiting and he is not understanding anything, and there is no point of doing the Gemba walk. So this is the second important step. Third one, selected time you will be observing. There are some critical timings, okay. Say for an example, you want to check the compliances, and you know with your experience that in night shift there is lack of compliances. That means people do not follow the norms, they are bypassing the system. So when you should be visiting the shop floor, your Gemba walk should be at the night shift only, okay. So plan for Gemba visit at the time, at the right time, where you can observe, okay, certain opportunity for improvement or certain things which is not being followed, okay. So for this reason, it is very much important for you to understand the proper timing, okay, when you should be visiting the shop floor. If defects increases during the night shift, plan your work during the night shift. If certain cases are there which can be observed in the daytime, it's okay, you can visit the daytime also. Certain things which is happening at the early hour of the morning, then you should be planning during that time. So this is third important aspect of the Gemba walk process. Let's move ahead. The fourth one. The fourth step is observe where value is created. What is value? Value should be seen in terms of customer, okay. So value is something for which the customer is willing to pay, and we need to see where the value is getting created. So the real Gemba, the real place you must be visiting. It should not happen that you want to plan a Gemba visit, but you are not going to the Gemba actually, and you are the nearby area, then that is not Gemba walk. You should be visiting to the real place and you should be observing the actual process. Suppose you want to see the problem in the assembly area, go to the assembly area and closely observe the worker who is assembling the product, okay, and for a particular duration, for a long duration, so that you can understand properly the processes and you can identify the gaps, if at all there are there. Fifth one is observe the process. Now you are at the Gemba only, but you need to observe the processes and quality of services, whatever is your aim or your objective. So you need to check the inputs, you need to check the outputs, the methods being followed, the interaction being happening between the product and the manpower or different manpower, how they are coordinating, how they are doing their activity, how they are assembling, what is the sequence. All those things needs to be observed very closely. I need to also observe various kinds of things, okay. We have broken down, in fact these steps are broken down into small chunks, but certain things we are explaining in a broader sense. So you might be observing there whether the tools are properly organized or not, whether 5S is properly followed or not, place for everything in its place, whether there are unwanted materials being kept there, whether things are clear or not, cleanliness over there, standardization you can see, okay. You can check for 3M, Muda, Mura and Muri, those things can be also observed. 7 deadly waste, that is team wood you can observe, TIMWOOD, team wood you can observe. Transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing and defects. These kind of things can be also observed and you can identify opportunity for improvements. You can also see the quality being properly checked, system is properly followed, instructions are properly followed, PPs are properly used, okay. Those things can be observed. So recognize how the process performs in its current state. You need to see what exactly is expected from the particular process you are observing. Say for an example, you are observing an assembly process, what is expected out of that assembly process and what actually is being performed. So, standard, okay, versus actual. So, what is the standard and what actually is happening. So, these differences needs to be checked. These differences needs to be seen at the shop floor. For an example, you can see what exactly the target production or target rate of production per hour and how much is actually being produced, that can be compared, so that it can give you lots of insight. If there is a gap and you have been observing for 1 hour, 2 hours, then you must be observing why this is happening, what are the non-value adding activities happening, if there are some non-value adding processes happening or other kinds of waste or losses are there. Keep noting all those things, okay. Maybe you can take some pictures, you can record video which can be analyzed later on, or during that time also you want to discuss the pictures or video or your observation with supervisor later on, that can be also planned. It is up to you because you are senior manager. Visualize the gap between the ideal state and what actually happens. So, this gap needs to be observed clearly by you. This is the 7th step. Compare current observation with desired performance or standard. For an example, if there is a requirement of continuous running of machine and when you were there at the machine, you observed that there is a frequent downtime or the operator is doing very frequently, after every 5-10 minutes he is doing some adjustment, and without adjustment machine would not run. When you went to the operator and you asked him, he is saying that, sir, this is part of the process. Okay, we keep adjusting the process after every 5 minutes or 10 minutes, which is part of our job, which is not good. You can keep noting those things and you can discuss later on with the supervisor, because this is an opportunity for improvement. It's a waste of time for the operator, and there is productivity losses also, might be impacting the product quality. And finally, the 8th step, look for opportunity for improvement. This is the reason you are there, so look for opportunity. So, lean improvement opportunity, safety enhancement opportunity, or waste reduction, muda, mura, muri you can identify, okay, and you can recommend relevant solutions. Solution could be 5S implementation, doing some Kaizen, lean project or Six Sigma project or quality circle, anything can be suggested, okay, because you are senior manager, you know what exactly is required and you have seen what exactly is happening, you have observed the gap, now you are ready for recommendation or action planning with the relevant team members. So, talking about these 8 steps, we can categorize them broadly into 3 parts. This is the first part which talks about pre-planning. Okay, second part, this talks about during Gemba visit, and this is the third part which talks about post visit. Okay, so we can divide the GembaWalk into 3 parts. The first one is pre-planning, that means before visiting the shop floor or the Gemba, what should be done? You should be clear with your objective, you should notify the relevant team member so that they are mentally prepared. If they need to follow some safety norms, they can let you know so that you can follow the safety norms and you can understand their SOP, work instruction. You are clear with the process. Okay, so this is the first part, pre-planning. Second, during the visit, what should be done? You need to go to the Gemba actual place, observe silently, asking questions. You can ask open-ended questions. There are 2 types of questions, open-ended and closed question, closed-ended or closed question. Closed questions would be those kind of questions wherein the answer would be yes or no. For an example, if you ask them, do you understand welding process? He would say yes. Do you know how to do machine setting? He would say yes. Okay. Do you follow safety norms? He would say yes. So, they are all close-ended questions because the answers are yes or no. This is not going to give you lots of insight about the process. So, ideally the question or the interviewing technique, you should be asking open-ended question wherein you would be getting elaborative answer. For an example, if you ask him, how do you set the machine? So, he is going to give you elaborative answer about the entire process of machine setting or tool setting or die setting. If you ask him, how do you conduct the calibration? How do you test the material for hardness or for nugget testing? How do you perform nugget testing? So, he is going to elaborately explain you the process. So, open-ended kind of question must be asked by you, and you should be keep taking the notes, relevant points, wherever required, take pictures. You may take videos also, that would be helpful later on discussion with the supervisor and helping for improvement. And finally, after the visit, discuss the finding with the relevant stakeholders, prioritize the issues, and then assign responsibility, make action planning, make follow-up, okay, so that all the improvements are materialized on time and there is visible change in subfloor or the Gemba. It's a GembaWalk process, you have gone to Gemba, so visibility in improvement should be there at the Gemba only. So, I hope friend, with this video you must have understood the nitty-gritty of GembaWalk process, what is the benefit, what are the process, and who all should be involved, how it should be carried out. If you like the video, write down in the comment section. Friends, Quality Hub India provides lots of services. We provide training program in technical aspect and behavioral training program also. So, if there is a need of any training program, classroom training program or live training program, we are there for you. Quality Hub India also is a certification body accredited by NABCB, National Accreditation Board for Certification Body, IATF, for various ISO certification. So, you can approach us for ISO certification activity. If you are already certified by some other certification body, you can transition to Quality Hub India. Competitive pricing, best in business auditors from our side, and we will be providing all kind of supports. Okay. We also provide various kinds of auditing services, product, process and system audit. We provide technical advisory also. If you require any deployment in Six Sigma to your end, or TPM, TQM or lean manufacturing deployment, 5S program, quality circle program, you want to drive at your end, you can approach us. Okay. We are one-stop business solution center for you. Any kind of requirement for business solution, you can contact us.